All right. Welcome to episode 4 of the ongoing volume. I am Digital with my co-host,
Blade.
and we are going to be talking about we're going to be starting off with talking about volume 4 of Chainsaw Man that we have been reading through together to go do these reviews. If you want to see how we started, go check out the previous episodes. So, volume 4. Um let's see. So, it starts off with Makima. She's back.
She
uh,
survived. Go figure.
yeah. Oh my gosh, one of the big characters that we are interested in finding out more about. She didn't just get taken,
I
out on
don't
the
think
third
they could
volume.
have gotten rid of her. So, I mean, think about what that would do to Denji. He's already on the borderline
Yeah,
there.
yeah. And what do you do with the? Uh, I don't want to say the show. We don't know enough, how it could be without her yet at this point. But like, she's like the main interest and the main brain behind like their whole team and everything going on about that. So like, who picks up the torch if that were to happen? But thankfully, it didn't happen, so we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. So you saw in like at the end of volume 3 that like she and the rest of the other guys that she was with got shot, and then the next volume she's fine, and the guy's like, how did you survive or whatever, something along those lines, and then she
She just
obviously
completely
defeats him.
annihilates him.
Yeah. So like my note is that there's something that was shown to like have like a cliffhanger for the end of volume 3, but that's not actually what happened. Because my head, you could take it as two different things. Either that really happened and she reversed it in some way that we would don't know yet, or we were led to believe that is what happened or what the story is. But what really happened is something that she did where she avoided it, whatever it is, somehow.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions here, and Makima's just. We end up seeing some of her abilities, and everybody has to be blindfolded when she does this. And it's just
Yeah.
insane what she does. She actually is killing at a distance, huge distance. Like
Yeah.
she's not even in the same city, and all of a sudden these guys are just dying, and not nicely either. Oh,
Yeah. And then she also like, I thought I noted it. She like pulled everyone to safety, maybe temporarily. It seemed like she pulled back like different people to like avoid her attack because they weren't there by the end of it. They were like some of them were like where they had their fight occur by the end of Makima using her ability. So it's not like she pulled them out and then they stayed out. It seemed like she kind of like put them in a safe spot next to her and then did her attack and then put them back. That's what I don't know. That's what I thought happened
yeah.
while she was cleaning house.
I have
It was
no
very
clue
wild.
how she did that or how it works. It is kind of curious. I don't know what. Yeah, it's just insane seeing what she's able to do, and it just she's avoiding all of her companions and just killing everybody around them.
Yeah, she's the
I
powerhouse
think
that we thought she was.
so. Some clues I saw from that little section is she did have someone. She had a bunch of in death row prisoners come out, and she told them to say a name, and then she would do something, and then all of a sudden,
Oh,
guy would die. So I think it
maybe
has
that's
something
what
to
I
do
got
with
confused
that.
with.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know exactly how her power works, but I think it has something to do with with them saying the name. But my question is, how does she know their names?
That's true. Well, maybe she has a lot more intel than we are led to believe because I mean she evaded, the attack on her, which we also talked about on the previous episode is that she had either she had to have known that this was coming and let it run its course and knew that she could pull everyone out, this and that, or she reacted and she's just so overpowered that like they weren't ever going to be able to do it because later on in the volume everyone is terrified on the opposing side of Makima, and they're like, "You didn't get her? Oh my god, we have to like." Pretty much, they're in hiding, you know?
What's the status? Is she dead? Is she dead? I thought you guys said that she was dead. Ah!
Yeah, yeah,
We
she's
don't
like the
have any
Gojo.
contact with that team anymore. Well, dang it.
Yeah, she's like the Gojo, you know, JJK when he gets through that barrier, and it's like, oh, it's curtains. Like
We're screwed.
Gojo's out.
Retreat.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly the vibe I got. Yeah, but not to go on just a whole Makima, you know, hype train. A lot did happen. So Himeno sacrificed herself
Mm-hmm.
for Aki.
Making a
That
ghost.
was
Seeing that fur form of the
yeah,
ghost is very interesting.
yeah,
Especially
and
since we
that was
also
pretty
see that
sad.
ghost again at the end of the end of the volume, which we'll get
Yeah,
to.
yeah, and that was pretty sad because you know Denji points it out too that that was like one of, if not his only, like actual friend he had made, like real friend, not just someone he knows like power, and they just are kind of like acquaintances because of the situation they're in. But like she was like, you know, I forgot how she said it, but she's pretty much along the lines of like, yeah, do you want to be my friend or we're friends or something like that, right? And he was, you know, genuinely happy about it, and it was like a big win for Denji, like with the party, and then they all went out and had drinks, and you know they're all on the up and up, and then like right after that they become like official friends, and so you're like, oh, things are going great, and then literally immediately that happens. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's rough.
Not much after that fight, you end up finding out that Aki only has 2 years left to live.
Yeah,
Shows how
which
much that using that spike or sword or whatever he has just drains
yeah,
his life so quickly.
yeah. How long has he had it? What's the, you know,
How many times has he
if he
used
keeps
it, and
using it?
how much
Yeah,
life has he lost just for using that?
yeah. A lot of questions in the air because then you know obviously it leads to like, does he, you know, does he keep progressing? Is he have to do a big sacrifice? How big does it have to be? You know, it can't. How long can he, I don't know.
It this chapter
It,
actually shows a lot of the limitations to his ability. Curse he can't use anymore because he loses too much life.
yep.
He couldn't use his fox devil either. He because of when he ate the sword feed or whatever he was. He's
I
just
thought it was the
like
girl, the
no.
blonde.
He attacked the sword guy, and he's just like this isn't norm. This doesn't taste like a human or a devil, and he slices
Oh no,
out
you're
of the
right because he was scared of the
fox.
girl. He was
Yes, the
terrified of the girl, but
ghost
he ate
the
him. Yes.
ghost was terrified of the girl and didn't want to attack. And the only way that the ghost would attack was when Hemi, what was her name? I have that. Um, Himino sacrificed herself.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of insane uh, how much he lost during that fight. To the point that he pretty
Yeah.
much a lot of his arsenal is gone.
Yep. Yeah. And then, uh, yeah, they lost to Himeno. Yeah,
They
we've
lost
covered
a
more
lot of.
about his
I think the only ones that are still living among the special division is the ones that were actually fiends or had some sort of devil, major devil attachment. I think almost all the humans were gone, and
Yeah,
that little section just was devastating to them.
it was. Yeah, that one was quite a turn of events considering everything that you know, everything that's been put into place to kind of set up for, all right, like here's the characters, here's the world, here's how this is all situated. Now we're going to start shifting gears and actually start telling you the story, which it did disappoint.
And of course, the first thing we get is a training arc. Ugh.
Yes.
So we get introduced to another new character. I believe his name was
Yep.
Kishibe. He doesn't get really announced his name till later on. I don't think they even. I think they just tell.
You're right. It is.
Yeah, I think they tell him to begin with, just to call him Master. I think towards the end of that volume, he actually
Yes.
says when he's introducing himself to some other people, he's like, "I'm Kishibe." I think that's what I figured
Yep.
out because I was looking for his name when I was going back to try to put my notes on.
I
I'm like,
know. It was
where
the
the heck
end of
is it? I
it.
thought he was saying
Yeah.
that. Yeah, we get his
It was like
name
the
towards the end
very
of the
end of it.
volume, but it was Kishibe. Uh, he goes
Yep.
on a training arc with Power and Denji, completely kills him. I'm not kidding. He kills him and
Yep.
brings him back to life
Kills
because
Denji. Which he was also noted as
the first thing he
Kishibe
does is
was
breaks both their
I had
necks.
yes. So Kishibe was I had seen the note, this is why I put it there, that he was like the strongest devil hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure is quite the claim, right? And so for him to just go clown on them the whole time, like, was one hilarious, but two,
Honestly,
like,
I got a good
holy
laugh
crap.
at the end of the first day of training, and they're like, we gotta use our intelligence, we gotta use our
Use
brains.
brains.
I was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Denji and Power using brains? What the
I
heck?
loved it because then them talking in the way they did about it, like, showed their intelligence, right? Was hysterical. They're like, yeah,
They
brain
did some
power,
good
blah, blah, blah.
tactics there, like putting
They
Power's
did.
blood into bottles to have it spike down on top of them. That was actually pretty smart.
Yep. Yeah.
Not that
But
it
then,
helped
so
them at
there was a
all.
part. Yeah, so there was a part 2 on the immortal or them dying thing. So he had Kishibe had noted that Denji was an immortal.
Mhm.
And then he noted that Power was a semi-immortal. And I would imagine you could split hairs on what that exactly means. Like, do neither of them age and then Power can actually die versus Denji can't? He'd have to be constrained or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, how I understood it is like Denji actually died 20 times, and that Power probably got defeated 20 times too, but not like
He wasn't
actually killed.
going. Yeah, that's true. He was full on killing Denji, but wasn't. I don't know if he
Yeah,
was fully killing Power because blood can do a lot
I
for
don't
the
think so.
fiends, but I'm not sure. It never shows how far he goes with either one of them. We do know that Denji was getting killed, so I mean,
Yeah,
he gets
and
a knife
so
thrown right into his head. So
yeah, and one of the things I kind of wanted to like, you know, pick at for that is that means Denji, he, if he has blood around, he is not going down. It's like he is being set up to be just this absolute tank, you know?
Mhm.
So the fact that he's an immortal and then literally the volume before him literally drinking blood of another devil is fueling him, whether it's his endurance and his healing or one or the other. He was, he was keeping pace until that devil was finally just like, kill me, like Denji is, even if his attack power is, on the lower side, or speeds, on the lower side compared to someone like Kishibe or Makima, he is an absolute unit, and you're gonna have to like restrain him like Wolverine from Marvel. Like,
You have to
good
make
luck.
sure there's no blood around him at all to defeat him.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. He's gonna be a big problem, and maybe that's why the Gun Devil is, I don't know, out for him. I don't want to say
Yeah.
afraid of him because we don't know yet. But I mean, if he can feed off the devil's blood, which other devils haven't really shown that to be, I don't know if not a thing, but of interest, because the Bat one wasn't fond of eating Denji's blood, but had, if it did help him in their fight, you would have thought he would have gone for Denji's blood then because they were fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It makes me think a little bit, couple layers on like, is it just Denji that can, or is it because he's chainsawing everyone and it's everywhere? Like, that's a benefit for him, that it's literally flowing whenever he makes contact with somebody.
There's something about the chainsaw devil that makes him really powerful. And the question is, what is
Yeah.
causing this?
Yeah. Super scary.
But
Um,
so to continue on, what did you think about
Yeah.
Aki's new partner? Because like I said, he lost a
The
lot of his
future devil.
arsenal. Yeah, he makes a deal with the future devil, and I'm curious about
Yeah, so
how
he
much of a
had-
power up that's going to be.
That's interesting because they obviously don't really talk much about what that devil can do, but they do kind of emphasize a lot of, well, the more the bigger the contract, the more you'll get, kind of thing, right? And then they specifically told him, this is the devil we want you to make a contract with. And so that leads to believe he's a big bad devil, right? Not just
Yeah,
some
he's supposed to be
slash that can do
he's
something
supposed to be
basic.
more powerful than the Fox Devil and the probably about the same as a Cursed Devil, without as much of a sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah, so he
Kind
didn't
of.
even like give up his eye. He just let him live in his eye, right?
Yep.
So it's not like Himino's with the ghost, right? So
And the
he
future
did
devil,
mention,
they did mention had contracts with other people, and they were mentioning what the
yeah,
last few contracts were, and they were insane. Like I think one of them they had to give up both their eyes, and I think
yeah.
another one was I don't remember what the first one they mentioned was, but it was also pretty insane.
I think it was Lifespan. Yeah,
Probably that sounds
yeah.
about right. But for him, he's just like, let me
But
live in your eyes. I want to see what happens. I want to see your ending. So it's something. It's gonna be
yeah,
something amazing if the future devil will just want to sit there and watch.
yeah, because he did mention that he knows his ending is going to be brutal.
Hmm.
And one of the things I think is um, underlying with that note is that could he be the reason that that happens? So at the point that Aki would die, would the future devil be the one to be the reason it's a brutal ending because he was already making that contract? Or was it going to happen anyway? And I don't know. It's hard to say with the future devil, especially with how powerful he's supposed to be, but we don't know enough yet of what it can do yet.
Yeah, I
But
think
when
we
you hear
got to wait and
future,
see.
I mean, does he have some sort of foresight in combat that's going to make him, cracked out of his mind to go
I mean,
evade like
now
crazy?
at the end of it, we saw him just using a normal sword, not even a stake. So it's got to be something that's significant enough that he doesn't feel like he needs to carry that around.
Yep. Yeah. No, he's gonna. I mean, everyone's starting to get a level up. It seems like
They
it's
kind of
like, all
have
right.
to.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we get to see a lot more
Yeah.
devils and fiends at the end of it, which some of those I found interesting. I mean, we got the shark fiend that can swim through
Yeah.
concrete, violence fiend that can that somehow still holds the power. Which they mentioned that there's multiple violence fiends, violence devils, but usually when they
Yep.
become a fiend, they lose a lot of the power, and this one didn't. To the point that he has to wear a mask that I'm guessing it has
To
some sort of
restrain him a little bit.
sedative or something in it, because it says do not take it off under any circumstances.
Yeah.
We got the
Yeah.
spider devil and the angel devil, which is the only two devils that they mentioned in there. I think the angel devil is the
Yeah.
one
The
that I
angel
find
one's scary.
most interesting. So
Yes.
that one doesn't harm humans. It's actually the only one that has no ill intent to humans. But instead,
Yep.
anybody who touches it starts having their life drained away from them. So
Yep.
pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm excited to see that. And so I did have a couple other notes before that where Makima is chatting with Kishibe. And so when they were having their chat, Makima shares that her goal was to pretty much protect all people from devils. And then Kishibe calls her a liar, right? You can see he
Mm-hmm.
ponders it for a second and then calls her a liar. And then that conversation pretty much ends, at least from our perspective, where she just gives a grin, right? And it's implying that she has a different goal. So, which I feel like we wouldn't have accepted anyway, even if he didn't call her a liar. Because, I mean, since the first time you meet her, you're like, there's something off about her. I don't know what it is, but she's not everything that
We only
you
get like
just see.
snippets. We only seen the tip of the iceberg she wants us to see.
Yes. So I thought that was good to give us some foreshadowing of she puts on this facade to different folks to see if they can understand her actual intent is not that. But obviously we'll have to find out more. Let's see. She's trying to gain more intel from the monsters, took the eyes of the family. Oh, yeah. So then she went to I think it was some mobsters, and
Yes.
she like was talking with them to get more information on different folks. I think it was like the different. I put monsters. Maybe it was devil specifically. And she came with a bag of their family members' eyeballs as a negotiating tactic to just be like, "Hey, I'm serious. These could go back," which is also crazy.
I
I
find
feel
it
like we're in
hilarious.
Naruto.
Yeah, she was just like, "Oh yeah, here's the eyeballs all you found. We got somebody who can put these back in, but that's only if you cooperate."
Yeah, yeah. And then immediately, one of the guys went to retaliate at her, and she just gave a simple look, and they started having a nosebleed.
And
But then it like
down.
the next panel was all over him. Like it wasn't just like, "Oh, I'm gonna scare you, ooga booga." Is like, no, like you might die.
Yeah, he was on the ground, and something was definitely happening with him. She is very
Yeah.
powerful.
So
That all she has to do is have a look at someone and they die. Oof.
yeah, she is such a question mark of what, because it could be. This is where like I honestly have a blast reading through different anime or manga and trying to understand who can do what, because it could be as restrictive as like My Hero Academia, where everyone has one ability but they have a million different ways they come up with how to use it, or it could be something crazy like Naruto or Bleach, where there's like a gazillion abilities that you can learn or you just have inherited. And anyway, so like it's interesting to me of like what is the extent of what she can and can't do, and when would she and would she not use abilities, because
Yeah,
she's
she definitely
definitely
has
got
more
her
than
own agenda.
one, and we don't know the extent of her abilities, even how they activate. We get little hints
Yeah,
here and there, but it's insane.
I feel like yeah, I feel like the only hint that I can really, I guess, call a hint, because we haven't seen it yet, is it's something with her eyes. Her eyes aren't just, basic, character eyes that like 90% of the characters we've seen have. She has a little bit of a different design on her eyes that makes me think that something about her eyes that makes it unique. And then on top of that, with the blindfold, that
Yeah,
you know,
everybody had to have
I feel like,
blindfolds, even the people that she was working with.
yeah, because maybe if she restricts her eyes to what she can't see, then then it allows her to focus on a different channel, kind of like flipping a card, right? So if it's face up one way, eyeballs are open, she can do this. If it's face down, which means she can't see, then these abilities happen. I don't know.
Hmm. Interesting theory. Guess we got to read on.
Yeah, I know. I'm super excited. She's very interesting. Denji, I'm also very excited to see what he's gonna be, because like we talked about, with him being built to just be this absolute immortal tank, I get literally Wolverine vibes from him, of like his animalistic nature. He's
Yeah,
very
he's actually very similar
um
to Rivalry. I didn't even think about that.
yeah. Yeah, he's just this big healing machine. His chainsaws, obviously, compared to the adamantium. Um And then, yeah, I mean, his teeth literally are, animalistic. He's not walking around sniffing and calling people bub, but like, for the most part, like he's got a lot of similarities that are setting him up to be that way. Um, and Denji, like Wolverine, isn't normally um, loyal to some particular squad or team. He just gets his friend groups and then goes and supports
hmm
them. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for Volume 5. I was a little upset when I got to the end of 4, because I
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to
such a
keep going.
cliffhanger. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, we gotta
so
stop this
I'm
because we
excited.
promised to do it this way.
Yes, yes. Yes, I'm very excited to
Continue
continue reading
on
that.
chapter
Maybe
5, volume 5. It's
to
actually
Volume
good.
5. Yep.
I think
Yeah.
people want to follow along. I believe we're in chapter 35 to 44. I think is the next one. Yeah, 44.
Yeah. Yeah, anything else you wanted to mention on Volume 4?
No, I think we got through everything that I'm interested in, that I
Cool.
want to chat about.
All right. Yeah. So no, I'm good. So let's move on to this is the first time we're trying this segment. So let us know what you think. So this one is called Two Truths and a Lie. So I have come up with three different things that could be true or not be true. and Blade has to try to figure out which one is the lie. And I have 3 different sections, so 9 different things I'm going to read, but 3 at a time. All right, and these are all anime, manga related, just like the cast is. All right, are you ready, Blade?
I am ready.
All right, so I have never watched all of Dragon Ball. So keep that in your mind. We can reread. Keep that in your mind, and then we'll go to the next one. I believe that Dragon Ball Z Broly, so like the movie ones,
Mm-hmm.
would defeat Perfect Cell.
Okay.
And then the third one is I think Majin Buu, so like the first cute one, that
The
sticks
fat
around for
one.
Super. The fat one, yeah, when
Yeah.
you first meet him. I think Majin Buu would lose to Gotenks in the Buu saga.
So here's the thing. I can see you believing both that Gotenks would defeat Majin Buu. I can see that too. Um, I'm not sure about the Broly one. Uh, I, I'm not sure how far you've gone in Dragon Ball, the original one. So those are the two that one of those two I think is the lie. So my question is, which one would be more likely? I know you're super into Dragon Ball, but it could have been because I didn't watch Dragon Ball first. I watched Dragon Ball Z first. So I'm wondering if you kind of did what I did and went
Yep.
back to Dragon Ball and just didn't watch it all or something like that because it's kind of one of those things you already know where it's going to end. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Dragon Ball. I'm gonna say that you haven't watched Dragon Ball all the way through. It's a lot. Is No, I'm gonna say the Broly
So
is a
the
lie. And the other two were the truth. That's what I mean.
All right. So I have never watched all of Dragon Ball is the truth.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm just like you explained. I started on Z, kind of like picked up the pieces of like
Because that
I'm
was the
pretty
one
sure I know
that
what the
was
story is.
around. We didn't even know about the original Dragon Ball for a while. That came in kind of like
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Zero. We know about Yu-Gi-Oh! Not a lot of people know Yu-Gi-Oh! Zero.
Yeah, yeah. So like on Toonami, we've brought it up several times before. If you missed, I don't remember Tuesday or Thursday. If you missed the episode that was happening that week, you are being left in the dust, and you have to piece together what happened, right? So that was pretty much what happened for me. I have seen a lot of Dragon Ball. I don't think I've seen all of it because there's random characters that'll come up on my feed, and I'm like, who are you? When are you in Dragon Ball? Oh, I don't know. Okay. uh, and then you said the Broly Perfect Cell one was the lie.
Yeah, I think so.
That one is the truth. So I believe
Really?
that DBZ Broly would.
You
I
don't
think
think
Broly could take on
Goten
Perfect
would
Cell.
defeat
No,
Majin
Broly.
Buu? No, I'm talking about your lie was Goten would defeat Majin Buu, right?
I don't think Gotenks would beat Majin Buu. I think he has more
Really?
power, but I think Gotenks is too immature and showboaty, and they would get eaten or absorbed or whatever by Majin Buu. I don't think they are going to do anything like in a one-on-one fight. I don't, unless they have like Piccolo in their corner coaching them on stop goofing off, which they had to do. Also, when they were fighting a stronger Super Buu version, um, I don't think Majin Buu would lose to Gotenks.
Hmm.
I think the kids are too immature, and Majin Buu is also immature. But even Majin Vegeta couldn't finish Buu, and it's not to say Gotenks isn't stronger than Majin Buu or
Majin
Majin Vegeta
Vegeta.
at that point, but I don't think they're going to just continue to try to like capitalize on
They're
what
gonna
they are
give a
able to
big
do. I think they're going
opening, and Majin Buu's not gonna care and just take care of it. Just
yes,
completely.
exactly.
Okay, I can see that argument. Oh, okay. That did
Yep.
catch me. I was expecting one of the other ones.
Yeah, yeah, this is fun. All right. So same thing here. So I got 3, and then feel free to let me know, Can't remember one because some of them are kind of longer winded. Um, okay. So this one is specific about Bleach. So the first arc I watched for Bleach was the Muramasa filler arc. The next one is I think the top 5 strongest characters are the Soul King, Yuhaba, Ichigo, Aizen, and Yamamoto. And then
Not
the
as,
last one
that's
is
not in any
I
significant order. That's just the top five, in your opinion.
just the top 5. Yep. And the last one is I believe Aizen never achieved Bankai.
That's a good question. I'm not sure if Aizen was in Bankai. I don't think they ever said whether or not that's his Bankai or his Shikai state. In fact, they never clarified anything about his weapon. We just learned what his ability was. Oh.
They do talk about what at least his Shikai does. And I'll just leave it at that.
So which one is a lie? Honestly.
Yep. And I'll read them.
So I could definitely see you coming mid into a filler arc. Unfortunately, Bleach is kind of infamous for its filler arcs. I think that was one of the better filler arcs. I can see you coming into that and being like, okay, I'll keep on watching. I actually don't think that the top 5, the 5 you mentioned are the top 5 most powerful. I think that's your lie.
That is my lie. Yep. So yeah, if I was to move anyone around on that list, it would be Yamamoto.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put Ichibei at least over Yamamoto, and maybe Oetsu, who's the guy that made the Zanpakuto. And I could go and see.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's a ton of powerful characters. You did name a lot of more powerful, but I'm thinking that can't be his top 5. They're definitely more powerful people than some of those.
Yeah. Yep. Yamamoto's he's a powerhouse.
He's a powerhouse.
One shot by Yuhaba. Yeah. Yeah. So the funny story with the first arc I watched for Bleach. So I was at my buddy's house. 2 of them were watching Bleach. I was like playing Gears of War or something, and I was like, "Hey, what are you guys watching?" "Oh, we're watching Bleach." "What is that?" And they were watching the filler arc, right, of Muramasa, and then they were trying to explain it to me, and pretty much the description I got is, well, they're Soul Reapers, and they fight with these crazy swords. They have these crazy abilities, and then they talk to their swords. And I was so confused. Like, what do you mean they talk to their swords? Yeah, they talk to their swords, and their swords give them abilities, and then there's different fights that happen. And right now in this arc, they're fighting their swords that give them power. And I was so lost because at that point I only knew like maybe 2 anime ever, and they were not complex like that. As much as I've grown up with Dragon Ball, that was very basic to follow, right? Compared to Bleach.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You can jump into an episode in Dragon Ball and piece a lot of things together. If you jumped in the middle of Bleach, you'd be like, what?
Yes. So I finished watching that with them, and I liked it. To this day, I still like it. I'm pretty sure it's the best filler arc for Bleach, which isn't to say much because most of the other ones suck, but that one was at least fun. And then, yes, I believe Aizen never achieved his Bankai. His Shikai, him releasing his Shikai form, or transforming into a Shikai, is what kind of prompts the hypnosis. So if you've seen him do it before, you're under it no matter what. Ichigo's pretty much the only one he's never done that to. And I see it online all the time that, oh, well, for him to become a captain, he had to have Bankai.
Not necessarily.
How would they know if they're under hypnosis?
We already have Kenpachi, who never even got his Shikai. So yeah, you can become a captain without having your Bankai if your ability is strong enough to overcome them. I'm sorry, that is the case.
I think. Yes, and I think one of this is way back in this, the Soul Society arc, right? And I think they express how you can become a captain is one, you have to achieve Bankai, and two, you have to defeat another captain, and maybe there was a third reason. But that was Kenpachi's story, and so then it's just automatically believed that everyone else has a Bankai. Now Aizen is crazy powerful in general. He's probably like top two just in spiritual pressure, if not one over Yamamoto. But Yamamoto is terrifying, right? He doesn't just need spiritual pressure to beat you. Uh, anyway, when he went through his testing to become a captain, everyone believed he had like some water ability when he did his testing. So why would we also think that he couldn't make them believe that was his Bankai at the same time? Everyone thought that was his Zanpakuto ability, period. What's to say he doesn't hypnose them all into saying the word Bankai and then reveal some water ability, right? Like, he had the spiritual pressure to back it up to make you think he would have that level of power. So I'm of the belief Aizen never achieved Bankai, and he just because for a number of reasons. On top of that, so yep, you got it right. But I wanted to give the stories why.
Fair enough. Yes. Okay, what's the
All
final
right.
three?
Yeah. So, all right. I believe Solo Leveling has a better main character than Dragon Ball Super does.
Okay.
In a straight up fight, I believe that Ichigo beats Naruto. And then the last one is I thought the Netflix adaptation of One Piece was awful.
The live action One
Yeah.
Piece? Oh. um, what was the first one again?
I believe Solo Leveling has a better main character than Dragon Ball Super does.
Well, I can full on believe that because Goku's kind of one note. So Leveling has a bit more to it. So I believe that you do believe that. The One Piece one is throwing me. I'm not sure how you think about the live action One Piece. That's kind of concerning me. And the second one was what was that again?
In a straight up fight, I believe that Ichigo beats Naruto.
What version of each are we referring to? Like final version?
Sure. End of their series, yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure if you believe that. But I can also see you not liking the live action, so. Could Ichigo beat Naruto? Is my question in your head. Because I know Death Battle did that already. I think the end of that was Naruto winning. But I know that was also one of the more controversial ones. Death Battle also just recently did another one with Ichigo, which I'm was kind of excited for.
Yeah.
And I actually agree with the ending of that one.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, I'm not spoiling it.
Okay.
I'm going to say number 3. I'm going to say you didn't like the One Piece live action.
Nope.
It was number 2?
So, just to make sure. So, I did like the Netflix adaptation. So, let me reread it. So, I thought the Netflix adaptation of One Piece was awful. That was a lie.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I said it right and that was what you wanted. Okay.
Yeah, I think you actually liked it.
That was the lie. I did like it.
Okay.
Yeah. I know they changed some stuff and some stuff got revealed pretty early on because literally like I saw all of that. I read all of that for season 1 at least.
They changed up the story a bit in there, and I think they did a pretty good job with how they changed it, which I can understand why they changed it. I also like how Bucky ends up staying around a bit longer than in the manga or anime. They did a good job with him.
Yeah, I liked it, and I'm excited. I don't remember when the season 2 is coming out, but I do see a lot of teases for it, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I believe Ichigo beats Naruto. Um, and then yes, I mean, in my head, I would imagine most people's head,
Goku's really
Sung
silly.
Jin Woo is Goku sucks in Super. That's why I specifically said Super. Z is so big. I could find a lot of instances where Goku is a good main character.
But at the
Uh,
same time, there's a lot of instances where Goku isn't the main character. I think at times
Correct.
I firmly believe that at one point Goku was supposed to be just dead, and they were supposed to give it
Yes.
to Gohan being the main character because there's a whole arc with just him, and then for some reason they
Yep.
brought Goku back. But even
Yep.
then, it was only
Yep.
supposed to be temporary as well, and somehow he's comes back again and again. I don't know why. They should have let
Yes.
Gohan have his moment and be the main character.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Super. I'm sure this isn't. This is more of a cold take. I'm sure most people agree with it. Yeah, Goku sucks as a character in Super. All he wants to do is fight everyone. There's no real exciting story, and they've replayed the card of everyone can come back all the time. That it's just kind of there's no stakes. Anyway, I could have
I
that.
think this is a kind of a good something that I find interesting about Dragon Ball. As we talk about GT, and GT was bad, and I will not argue with that. But I think GT nailed the characters better than Super did. I think Goku had a much better arc in that one. Super just
Mhm.
kind of was had a great story. I think that's the reason why people love it, and I can see that. I think it did have a good story, but the characters are really
I don't even
bland
know
and
about
one
that
note.
though.
It's better than GT.
I think what makes Super exciting is the introduction to angels and the gods. That there's something above it all, and that's now the new goalpost for Goku and Vegeta. There's the story of Super still is mid. Like there's no stakes other than okay, let's throw the argument. It's to get rid of all these universes. That's Goku's fault. That wouldn't have happened anyway, right? Cell is not Goku's fault. Boo is not Goku's fault. Frieza is not Goku. Like those are things they had to put down because there was a threat to the world, some other planet, the universe, whatever. Like they had to go and handle those. They weren't just going and hunting and looking for bad guys and willing to go bet several universes' lives because Goku's bored, right? Like, yeah, I could make a whole segment of me shit talking Super. The only thing that I think is fun is the fights and the
Put in the
animation.
comment if you want us to compare Super GT and see which one's actually better.
Yeah, because I own GT, I will go rewatch it, and I will come with the
What we'll probably do is
updated info.
what we should probably do is rewatch Dragon Ball Z, which is like the peak of it, and see which one branches out better from there.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's up to you guys. Let us know how you
can
want us to do it and everything. We're happy to talk about Dragon Ball all day and all night. So
Yeah, yeah, because I think I could see it being we go by categories within characters, the antagonist, or protagonist, antagonist, and story and world building, whatever you want to, and we could go and sit there and measure. Because I think Super gets a lot of credit because people are excited about angels and gods. Everything else is glossed over.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So I think you got 2 out of 3. Good job.
Awesome.
Let us know if you like that segment. I think that'll be that I thought I had fun.
Yep.
You kind of find out a couple truths about me, and then you're on the fence. What I don't believe or know or something.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
We're on to my segment.
next one's yours. Yeah.
So we're gonna do a bit of a
Yeah.
thought experiment here. So all I need from you, Digital, to start out is the name of an anime. Whatever one you want to talk about most.
Bleach.
Bleach it is. I'm going to change one thing that happens in the world, and we're going to discuss what the ramifications of that happening.
Ooh, I love these. What ifs? Okay.
Yep, what ifs? What if Ichigo's mom did not die?
Oh, what if she didn't die?
So Kingfisher
Let's
did
see.
not kill Ichigo's
He,
mom. She was able to live happily with them, and the story of what would change in the story. Would the story happen at
let's
all?
see. It's a good question. So I'm rewinding to when their parents met, and it was because of White, the hollow that Aizen made. Pretty much. And she's Quincy. He's Soul Reaper. Obviously, they, in the states that they, in both of their occupations, I guess they'll say, they shouldn't have interacted, let alone fell in love and all that stuff. So I think, wasn't she heavily weakened from the fight with White, and that's why she couldn't fight the Grand Fisher? I'm pretty
It's
sure
been
that's
a bit
why.
since I've seen that. I'm assuming yes. I'll go with what you.
Yeah, I'm
I think
pretty
you
sure.
remember
Yeah,
Bleach a bit better than I do.
yeah. I mean, I have most of it behind me, and I've read a lot of it. Yes, over and over. I guess I'll say. Yes. So she's probably. I don't think she's going. I don't know. That's interesting. I could see her being a part of the circle with Ishin, obviously her husband, Urahara. Um, I forget um, Ashida's dad's name. Uh,
Yeah, I
the
forget
older
that in
Quincy.
a
Anyway,
second.
whatever his name is, I could, because they all like knew each other pretty well because by the end of the entire Bleach arc, they come and then they give Ashida the silver arrow that you know gets rid of the Almighty for some small amount of time for Ichigo to land the last blow. So I could see her also helping Urahara and Yorichi and trying to keep things calm and getting intel and it still being a secret
Now keep in
of
mind,
who they
Ichigo
are.
for a while there had a bone to pick with the groups because he lost his mother. So what would change with that? What do you think would happen with that? He wouldn't be as angry as he is
Oh, at
in
his school.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Because yeah,
let's see.
she
Yeah,
would add a lot
he
of
wouldn't be
things
as
to it, but
mature.
I think Ichigo would definitely change. His personality would definitely be different than what it is now.
Yes, he would be a lot he wouldn't be as protective because I feel like he felt it was definitely his duty as the older brother to protect his sisters all the time, and more so because his dad was juggling all the kids and working and whatnot, and then Ichigo could see ghosts, which also was impacting him, so he didn't have really anyone that I think he felt like he could interact with on that level. Where I think he would have probably brought it up to his mom, and she probably could have helped him figure out how to navigate through that.
Would he actually learn to be a Quincy first before becoming a Soul Reaper? What do you think? Because he
I could
one of the things
see,
is that we don't
yeah,
find out he's a Quincy until the Thousand Year Blood War.
way later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that he's not being trained to be a Quincy. I could see that he is. Um, I could see that he is able to figure out how to handle these ghosts that he's seeing a lot better than he was. Where I would think that his mom would try to teach him a couple things, and since she's with Ishin, that she would have a similar mentality on how to handle ghosts or even hollows eventually. To where it's not impacting the balance, which is what the Quincy's were doing whether they knew it or not, was impacting the balance between the living and the dead kind of thing, or the hollows in like Wakamundo and Soul Reaper and Souls, things like that. So I could see him definitely being. He would have probably a much better life because he's got his mom. He's going to probably not feel like he needs to be another dad to the sisters because his real dad is as busy as he is. Doesn't ever really talk to him about any of his, heritage of like things outside of, you know, that they're human. Uh, he doesn't ever approach his dad to talk about the ghost, to my knowledge, and he just kind of dealt with it. And I could see he gets more control, but his personality is very different in that he's just a high schooler and he knows how to handle ghosts. He's not gonna go. I don't see him early on going and buddying up with Chad. I think he's just going to like hang out with like Orihime
Or he would definitely
and
still be in the group. Yeah.
yeah, and I forgot their friend that does the karate or taijutsu or whatever it is she does. That's with she's in that friend group. But
Mm-hmm.
Chad was, definitely not like brought into the group until Ichigo brought him in. And they both were like fighters, is kind of like how I would classify them. And Ichigo wouldn't really have to be a fighter because he wouldn't be in that state to feel like he needs to protect, because like that's how he became friends with Chad. Is he's like, don't fight them, fight for me, and that's how he got Chad to fight with him, kind of thing. Um, and then I mean I don't know because then eventually Rukia is going to find herself in that state, where she needs help. I doubt Ichigo would know anything about what a Soul Reaper is still. I would, like I said, I
Probably
think the
not.
mom would just show the basics of like, here's how you can handle ghosts, and maybe here's how you can purify them or get whatever it is, to help them pass over. But I think that would be really it. They didn't really seem like they were going to show him anything. He just fell into it with Rukia. Um, so I don't know. I could see that's what I think early on that would be like.
Would Ichigo's mom be able to help out Rukia instead of Ichigo?
I don't think so. She couldn't take on Grand Fisher. And I know he's stronger than the Hollow Rukia fought, but
That's
there's
true.
also
Now that I think about it, yeah, both Ichigo's dad and mom were both fairly weakened after that battle. Okay,
yeah, and it's
so
hard to
things would
say
probably
too
still
because
end
there's
up
there's a
roughly in the same. Ichigo would probably still become a Soul Reaper. So I'm getting at.
I could I could see that because he was strong, right? Like you see it in the size of his Zanpakuto toe when he first gets it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also confusing too because Rukia is supposed to be like a level 3 seated Soul Reaper, and she's getting bodied by a basic Hollow, right? And I don't know. It is confusing of like how powerful was that Hollow compared to someone like Grand Fisher,
She also
right?
has a very finicky release and Bankai. So
Yeah,
her
that's
Bankai in
true.
particular is so hard for her to control.
Yes, yes. So yeah, I'll yeah. Specifically on the how strong is that Hollow, to answer the question of could Ichigo's mom help? Uh I don't think so, but it's hard to say because I
Mm-hmm.
don't know the difference between the Grand
We
Fisher
don't
and
know
that
exactly how
particular Hollow.
weakened they were and how much power they had by that
Yeah.
point. Because we only found out Ichigo's dad's a Soul Reaper after he gets back from Soul Society and he could finally go back into his Soul Reaper state. It was during
I
the
don't even think we learned Ishin is a Soul Reaper until uh they start fighting Aizen.
no, he shows himself before that. He does
To
go and
Ichigo?
he defeats Kingfisher after he becomes was it when the Hollow gets the powers of Soul Reaper. The Kingfisher becomes that, and he's the one who defeats him. That's
I
what we
swear
find out.
Ichigo's the one that
Ichigo does
beat
not find
Kingfisher.
out until that point.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry.
We, the readers,
I was
find out
thinking
at
when
that point.
Ichigo beats him. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But no,
Okay.
the Ichigo does not find out that you're right until after he gets done in and starts heading back to Earth or wherever he's heading. I don't remember exactly what.
Yeah.
All right. So interesting thought. Put your thoughts below on what you think would happen or things we might have forgotten about that might, because we're only just getting the surface of these ripples over the changes that would happen if Ichigo still had his mom. So let's hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for that particularly, the more I'm thinking about it, like if you were to assume most of the things would happen the same, except early on it's different, it would be very interesting with the 1,000 Year Blood War arc how that would go because of the Quincy's.
I think one of the things I'm really most curious of how the change in Ichigo's personality would affect the story. So
Yeah.
I think that would be one of the biggest things that would definitely change.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, that was my thought experiment.
Cool. That was fun. Yeah, I love those what ifs of like just change this little thing, butterfly effect. What would happen? Cool. All right. Well, so we came up with a list of 5 different abilities, and we didn't put any restrictions of like for everyday use or whatever. I think I had just said what would be the top 5 abilities that we would want in general. So I can start off. I think an easy one, especially since I always lean back to Bleach, is Yuha Boss, Almighty, where he can change the future to whatever he wants. You are every decision you can make is a grain of sand in the beach, and he can watch you decide if you're gonna hop to this sand or that grain, and he can decide if you're going to get there or not, and he's going to put a different one there, and you're going to land to that because that's what he decided. Super overpowered to the point that obviously the what's his name, Kubo, the author, he writes himself into a corner, and then they has to come up with some crazy shenanigans on how to beat him.
Yeah. It's a BS reason why I can beat you here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Plot relevance here. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, you don't even need the strength that he has, or the Quincy abilities, or the fact that he gives the Stern Ritter all their amplified. I think it starts with a V, Volsting or something like that, where they're all even stronger. Anyway, like the Almighty alone is like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. So, for my abilities, I kind of went with like things I wanted as a kid or as I growed up. I really loved the idea of. My first was actually from Bleach as well. I want a Bankai.
Yeah, there you go. That dude. Every time they say Bankai, it's like almost
everybody's like,
you're like, oh
yes, Bankai, yes. I was always like, let me see the next Bankai. I want to see this also powerful thing. And if I was living in that world, I would want a Bankai. I would be training so hard just so I could achieve that form.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even the some characters that have Bankais, I mean, there's like levels to it. Like you have Renji who like he gets it, yay, and then he fights Byakuya and gets his butt kicked, who's been a captain for a minute. And then, they all get some sort of ascended version in 1,000 Year Blood Work. Not all of them, but a good of the main characters. And then you have like Yamamoto, who's got like 4 huge abilities for each of them, for his Bankai. That's crazy.
Yeah, so some of the Bankais go. It is definitely like even when you achieve Bankai, you're still learning it. You're still trying to figure out how it works. It is just beginning. It's yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to have that ability.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I picked mine. I guess I'll specify. Mine were like characters. So like So maybe we went a little different route, but I think that's totally fine.
We
So my
kind we
next
kind
one is
of did this vaguely, so I think both of us kind of had a different
yeah,
idea of what this is.
yeah, and that's yeah.
It's okay.
Obviously, folks, let us know what you think too. So my next one is kind of a cheat. I have you can't see him in the. Maybe I'll rearrange my stuff so you can see the light novels. For Rimuru, being able to
Mm,
devour
I did not think about
is
Rimuru.
like Rimuru. I don't even need all this, hacks that Rimuru gets later. Just give me devour, and
I mean
you're
that
gonna get everything you want anyway.
actually. I think if I actually did remember Rimuru, I would rather have his Oracle or whatever it is that lets that he
The
talks
Great
to
Sage.
the Great Sage. Yes, I
Yeah,
think that would be
that's
the
a
ability that
yeah,
I would want from
that's
that
true.
one. But yeah, Rimuru has some awesome
Yeah,
abilities. I did not even think about it when I was coming up with this list. Oh,
Rimuru is. Yeah. I want to read because I at one point I was caught up on the manga, um, and then I started getting into light novels, and they were just a heavy read at the time, so I didn't get around to doing it. But I bought the books with the intent of fully sitting down and reading them because I
I mean, from what
thought
I
Rimuru
understand
was
about the
awesome.
light novels, is light novel Rimuru is just completely OP.
Broken.
Yes.
Yeah, top like in single
We're
digits in
talking about
anime.
Makaba's OP. No, no, no. Rimuru completely. Yeah, Makaba doesn't even stand a chance
Yeah,
against
but
Rimuru. No, light novel
yeah, yeah, that'd be
Rimuru.
yeah. Maybe we'll make a milestone for me to go through all that too. Uh, Tell you what, 1,000 ain't enough because that's gonna be bigger than I think the pace I can read One Piece. Those are actual novels, or
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Anyway, yeah. That if you know anything about that time I got reincarnated as a slime and Rimuru, you know. If you don't, let me know. I will explain it in a separate video, and we'll go over it.
Yep.
Go ahead, Blaine.
Okay. Like I said, mine were more things I wanted as a kid. So of course, every kid wanted any kid that's watched Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, you probably know where I'm going for this. Kamehameha. You gotta have the Kamehameha wave.
Ooh, yes,
I mean, everybody as a kid was like, Kamehameha. uh,
yes.
it,
Yeah. That's like the iconic move. Like that
yes,
was like
that
one
is
of the
the
only
move.
like named ones at the time I could think of as a kid. Like, oh, he's doing a Kamehameha. Okay, like there wasn't another ability other than like way later, like Destructo Disc was like another named ability I remember.
And was it the
Kamehameha is
Flash,
the
whatever
goat.
it is?
Final Flash.
Solar
Yeah,
Flash is what I'm
but that
thinking.
was
Solar
still
Flare.
later.
Where he blinds
Oh
people.
yes, from TN.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
We got Tri
yeah. Final
Beam.
Flash.
We got Special Beam Cannon. Most of
Yep.
them didn't get. Everybody knows Kamehameha. Not everybody knows the other abilities because Kamehameha was like the ending move that he just always used. The fallback.
Could you imagine being a kid? Because in Dragon Ball, is it Roshi? Somebody blows up the moon. Pretty sure it's Roshi with
Mostly
the
blows up the
Kamehameha
moon,
that blows up
yes.
the moon. Yeah, can you imagine? Because Gohan or Goku
Hmm.
as a kid, he's supposed to be stronger than Roshi, right? And eventually, I guess I'll say.
By the
And
end of Dragon Ball, he is stronger than Roshi, yes.
but even if you're a fraction as strong as either of them as a child, you could literally be burrowing into a mountain with a Kamehameha. you know, that's
Yep.
insane. That's awesome. That's an awesome pool. All right, is my turn.
Yep.
Um, let's do. So I'm going down all the broken stuff. In my wheelhouse of what can I think of. Another one was Madara. I think he is the like total. He has as many abilities as you could think someone should probably never have in Naruto, uh, unless you go to Boruto and then it gets more broken. But I mean, he has the internal Mangekyo shutting gun, which is the highest form, and then it ain't gonna go bad. He's not gonna go blind. It's the eternal version. He could really have it on all the time, and then he is the only person that actually was able to get his eyes with Hashirama's cells to get the Renegon. So, even if you had better, visual prowess than Madara somehow, like maybe Sasuke and Boruto does, he didn't have the cells to go activate his Sharingan into the Renegon like Hashirama's cells bring together for the Sage of Six Paths, right? So the Renegon is like one of the most broken things on its own, let alone with the Sharingan. And you can fly. You see the Tango, I think the main pain that Nagato uses, flying around, he can pretty much force push or pull anything he wants. He can absorb chakra. He can summon a million things. Like, imagine being able to go to work and you get to ride a big bird. You know?
That's true.
You
That's
can
kind of
fly.
awesome.
You can also ride a bird. Yeah, it's
Screw
just
traffic.
there's
I'm just gonna fly
so
my
much.
bird in.
Yeah, there's so much utility. Like, obviously, like I said, you could fly on your own, pack up a coat, you're gonna be cold, but you could ride some crazy animal. Or you could get a frog and go ride the frog. Anyway, you could go on forever on the Renegon's abilities, especially Madara, in general, because then he's got this Susanoo,
Yeah,
or the
a lot
Susanoo.
of the eye jutsus or whatever it is in Naruto just OP, and he has all of them. Just having one of
Yes,
those is
yeah, he
like a
has all
huge
the
boost to your
Neji. Yeah,
power.
yeah. So yeah, that was mine. Just all around OP.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely went with the more OP options. I did not. I went with the yes. I would love
yeah,
as a kid. I loved that. I was always going around Buckeye or oop, I just hit my mic. Sorry,
yeah.
people. It was listening. uh, but yeah, my next one was actually from Yu Yu Hakusho. It is the Spirit Gun, Yusuke's main weapon ability. Um,
Yeah,
and all of its form. I'm including all of its forms because there's also the Spirit Shotgun, Spirit Wave, pretty much anything along that lines, and he does a great job with it. And uh, just that simple ability is what actually helps him out towards the end. So, Spirit Gun, that's on my list.
nice. I haven't
I
seen that
yeah, I just say I don't
since
think you
the
see.
Toonami days.
Yeah. I love Yu Yu
Yeah, I'm
Hakusho. It
pretty.
is really good, and I suggest people watching it. Watch it.
Yeah, is there anything else on that, or is it like an energy blast that's
It's
unique
pretty
to
much just
him?
it's made by Spirit Energy. He does later on get demon energy that he uses in it, and it becomes
Okay.
a more powerful version of it. Then I think at the end he kind of combines his demon and spirit energy into a new form of energy that they don't name, and that becomes his most powerful version.
Okay. Because yeah, I remember watching that. I'm pretty sure I finished this series, but I'm pretty foggy as an adult now of all the details. But I do remember that was super exciting every time he unleashed a spirit gun on somebody.
Well, beginning he only could fire it once a day. Then at a certain point it
Yeah.
was 3 times a day. And then he got, I don't remember if that was during the time he got the shotgun or not. But yeah, you can see his growth with it, and it does become OP
Yeah.
towards the end.
Sweet. Yeah. So my next one, again, we're falling down the OP. What can I come up with? What would be super awesome to have? I picked Sung Jin Woo's.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's broken, man. Like even if I don't get the strength and speed, the shadow abilities that he has are unbelievable. He can teleport. He puts
Honestly,
shadows all over the place.
his base of just leveling up's OP.
That is true too. Um, but yeah, the shadows. I mean, he can get shadows from pretty much anyone. He can use them to teleport. He can, summon a gazillion of them. I think eventually I don't even remember his number. I made a video on this long, long time ago of
It's
what
a
his cap
high
was, and I
number.
think it eventually is infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So imagine you want to go anywhere in the world, you just have a shadow somewhere, and you can warp to it. Like just that one ability alone is crazy awesome. Let alone all the other things you can do with summoning. Uh, anyway, yes, that's it. That was my next one.
Awesome. Fair enough. Mine. So I'll go on to my next one, which is from the One Piece universe. And you might think I might pick a Devil Fruit, but no, there's actually a more OP power than the Devil Fruit, and it is hockey. To be more precise,
There you go.
Conqueror's hockey. Most people know about that
Nice.
in the One Piece universe, but that's something that just be able to sit there and anybody's weaker to you just and push out this hockey, and all of a sudden anybody who's weaker to you faints. Just like, yeah, numbers don't matter against me. Yeah, you have to actually
Yeah.
be stronger for me to even care.
Yeah.
So,
That's quite the skill check to be like, are you at this level? No, no, no.
yeah. Have a good night. Don't bother with this battle.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. That's a good one. And there's a lot, and we've talked about this before on how far behind I am on One Piece, but there's a lot of different hockey, right? Not just conquerors.
Yes,
I know that's one of the
there's
big ones.
multiple variants of it that you tend to learn about. Conqueror's hockey is the rarest version of it, and only a handful of people can use it. On Luffy's team,
Okay.
I believe the only two confirmed users are Luffy and Zoro. And Zoro, I think,
Okay.
was a fairly more recent one that we're just now figuring out. But I think the theory is there. I think there's a fan theory that everybody on his team can eventually use Conqueror's hockey, and they just haven't unleashed it. We're kind of hoping.
Jeez.
I can tell you at this moment, the one person who needs the biggest improvement right now is definitely. Oh, why am I
Sanji?
forgetting? Nope. Sanji's still pretty powerful, and he does control hockey. But no, it's
Okay.
their sniper. Why am I forgetting? Usopp.
Usopp.
Yes. Usopp needs
Yep.
a definite improvement. He is really lacking in almost every department. His tricks aren't cutting it now in the most recent fights.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm hoping
Maybe
that
that's
they give
alluding
him
to
a.
he's gonna get something.
Everybody's hoping that in the next section he gets a huge improvement. Some people are just hoping that he starts actually
Yeah.
using a gun and not using a slingshot. But I don't know.
Yeah. Imagine technology.
Because people are pointing out that right now, if he fought Teach, who's a big bad, um, his sniper is just on another level to Usopp right now, and he does not stand a chance against him. So he definitely
Okay.
needs something to help him.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. My last one was Gojo with with the Infinity. I I don't even think. I mean, I think the Infinity alone is enough.
Yeah, no
I don't need
kidding.
the curse. Purple, red, yeah, blue, yeah.
That power
Uh,
alone would just, yeah, that just dominates.
and then the eyes to instantly analyze things immediately. Like, imagine how helpful, even just the eyes. Even if you like, if I sit here and cherry picked amongst like which one would I want to use on a given situation. If I want to go read a book, I just literally flip through the pages and I immediately get that info. Like, how useful would that be? You know,
Super.
like you're just even if you have it like on your tablet and you just scroll through as fast as you can, you're done. You know, like
I've read about 3,000 books. Might as well make it 3,001. Done.
yeah, exactly. Oh, that backlog we talked about the other episode. That's
Yeah, that's
come
gone.
on,
Yeah,
let's talk.
we're already done with all the series. Sorry, guys.
I'll tell you what chapter, what page, what panel this thing happened. There will be no question. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I
All
guess
right.
I got my last one, which is from Full Metal Alchemist, Alchemy. Give me that ability to
Yeah.
change. That is such a useful ability. And it can be overpowered, and I don't even care if I get the whole clap and the truth. I think is how they refer to it, the door of truth that lets them use that ability. I don't care about that. I don't care if I have to make a circle and do all that fancy stuff that the other alchemists do. I would
The
love to be
incantations
able to
and stuff.
use alchemy.
Yeah, that would be sick. What's the first thing you want to use it for?
That is a good question. I would actually probably what I want to do is actually do an in-depth study on computers and start making my own freaking RAM.
Oh, there you go.
Because that's
Just avoid all
I
of
already
the
know a
problems.
lot. A lot of the components on that's actually fairly cheap to get. The problem is the process of making it, the machines and everything needed to make RAM
Yeah.
or any of the other chipsets that we use in computers. That stuff's expensive. And technically, with
Yeah,
alchemy, you
manufacturing's
wouldn't need
rough.
it.
Yep.
Because the reason
You just
why
gotta
it's
study
so
it all.
expensive is because we gotta be careful of what chemicals are interacting with it. We have full control over what's interacting with what in alchemy. So all I would need is the individual ingredients, and I could make my own chips. Something simple as
See, if you had the 6 eyes, I could tell you how to do it, and then you could go create it.
yeah, technically. But yeah,
Very
that's just a
fun.
simple solution.
Well,
That's just one of the things I could do with alchemy. I could actually technically turn lead to gold and start selling it. Like get something super common, turn it to gold. Here, give me a bit,
yeah, make
buddy.
your dream house. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you can transform from an element to a different element as
To an
well.
extent, yeah, it just has to have the same weight.
Okay. Oh, wow.
You have to have full knowledge
Maybe I
of
should watch it.
what's in it. You have to have the same. So there is some nuances to it, but it is possible to turn lead to gold. That's one of the taboos in alchemy. Human transmutation being another one, and there's a third one that I'm trying to like off the top of my head. Um, but the only thing
Okay.
is that I would never want to make a philosopher's stone in that world. When you find out what the ingredient is, you'll understand.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's on the backlog, but we talked about in the previous episode what the priority is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I'll get heat for it that it's not up there yet, but I'll take it for now. Cool. All right. That was everything we had.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, everyone, we are all over the place on the internet. We are on all the podcast pages, Spotify, uh, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music. Yeah, we're everywhere. So make sure you check it out. If you want to interact with us directly, feel free to check out the Discord. And you can recommend a series. You could give us flack on some of our takes or knowledge or preferences on any of these segments here. Let us know what you think. We love to interact
We want
about
to
it.
have more
And
subscribers so that we can get Digital Teeth start watching One Piece.
oh yeah, I did say after we hit 1,000 subs, I
I'm not.
will make an ongoing series.
I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna make sure that you get into that.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big one. I do like One Piece, but
it is
yes,
We're gonna
if we get
we'll split it up for you and make sure that you're not taking it all at once, because I think that's one of the major issues I have. So I try to binge it, and there's just so much to binge that you just can't. You end up getting One Piece down and be like, I need a break.
I think what I would do when we get to that point is I would probably work with you of like, hey, I'll read through it, and then you tell me like what specific parts you think are more watch worthy, and then when I get there, I'll check it out and make sure I don't miss the hype of I'm sure some big fights or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, whenever we get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, that is the incentive that we set in the last episode. And Blade doesn't want to wants to make sure no one misses that.
I'll hold him to it. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll figure out the details on that when we get there. I'm thinking it'll be like a review. I'll do some big batches, and then maybe we'll bring it into the segment to go. All right, Digital, where you at? And Blake can laugh at. Oh, wait till you get to here. Cool, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with us in episode 4, and we will see you in the next episode. I appreciate you and have a good one.
Bye bye, y'all.